Who here has a special object? Passed down through family, maybe. It has religious connotations, emotional significance. Whatever it is, it's meaningful. Hands up. Okay, now let's imagine this object went missing tomorrow. It's gone. How do you feel? It wouldn't be great, would it? It would feel like a massive loss. This object means something significant to you and your family, and now it's gone. Okay, now let's imagine this object was a bracelet. You have a collection of jewelry within your family that means something significant to you and your family. You often wore this jewelry on special occasions, and people love it. People are inspired by it. People love to look at it. People love to draw it. People try to recreate its beauty. So one day, you're wearing this bracelet from the collection, and someone walks up to you. Let's say their name is Thomas. And Thomas asks to hold your bracelet, to supposedly look at it and study it. You're like, sure, of course, Thomas. I trust you, Thomas. You're simply going to admire it, Thomas, and maybe do a few drawings of the jewelry. No. Thomas drops it, steps on it, and breaks it. You're shocked. You're confused. You didn't give Thomas permission to do that. Why would he do something like that? Then Thomas says, why wouldn't you take better care of your jewelry? It is so beautiful. It has so much meaning and history attached to it. You're shocked. You're confused. You still don't know what to do or say. Then Thomas says, you know what? I like this bracelet, and I like your jewelry. So I think I'm going to have this jewelry because I quite like jewelry. You stand there, still shocked. Then Thomas adds, you know what? You can't actually stop me from taking this jewelry away because I have permission from this third party, Otto. And Otto says that I can take this jewelry. So what I'm going to do now is take this jewelry, the pieces that I like, and put them on a ship. So he does just that. He puts the jewelry he likes on a ship. Then the ship sinks, along with all the jewelry on it. Then it's returned back to Thomas's house. Not back to you, even after it was recovered from the shipwreck. It's back to Thomas's house. This is the general reconstruction of the Elgin Marbles and how they basically got to the UK. Thomas is Thomas Bruce, whose full name, or who is mostly known as Lord Elgin. Otto is the Ottoman Sultan in charge of Greece at the time, Selim III, and you are Greece, or the Parthenon. I wanted to share this story with you in a simple and relatable way, a way in which it could be included in your life. The effects that have come with artifacts being begotten through ill means is still very much present today, and I want us all to engage with this topic. Simply through sharing this little story, I want us all to have more awareness. So, what are the Elgin Marbles? Or more specifically, what are the statues and reliefs taken by Lord Elgin in July 1801? What are they to the Greeks? What do they represent? What do they mean to the British? And why do we still have them? The Elgin Marbles are a collection of statues and reliefs from the Parthenon and accompanying temples on the Acropolis, a hill in Athens. Scholars believe that they were made between 447 BC and 432 BC, supposedly under the sculptor Phidias. The Parthenon is a temple dedicated to Athena, who is the patron goddess of Athens. And the Parthenon and the temples on the Acropolis have withheld trials and tribulations, such as being set on fire by the Persians, or Turkish gunpowder being set aflame within the temples themselves by the Venetian artillery. These temples have withheld attack upon attack upon attack. Yet, they still hold some of the greatest symbols of classical architecture and sculpture today. The Elgin Marbles, or the Parthenon Marbles, are what created the meaning of the temple. On the frieze that was taken, the marbles show a commemoration of the birthday of Athena. There are also a series of metopes that were taken, which are sculpted relief panels, which depict an ancient myth showing the dual nature of mankind. There are also larger sculptures that were taken, which are of gods and heroes of classical Greece. These marbles relate to the nature of man, the nature of Greek identity, wrestling with Greek identity, their culture, religion, a thanksgiving to the gods. They are a testament to their reality and to their history. So from my little story, which I said before with Otto and Thomas, we should now all hopefully know how these marbles got to Britain, but I wanted to give you all a little bit more information. Thomas, Lord Elgin, likes antiquities. He thinks they're very pretty. And previously, he was in Greece to foster a better relationship with the Ottoman Sultan as he was a diplomat. Then he later returned as he wanted to gather more information about the marbles, such as by getting some drawings of them, because it was a very fashionable thing to do at the time. But he wanted more. He wanted the real thing. So he requested permission from the Ottoman Empire to get closer to these marbles, which he did get. He did partially receive this permission to get closer to the sculptures. But we don't actually have evidence of this permission today. We just have Lord Elgin's word. He ended up breaking off pieces from lots of temples on the Acropolis and used the excuse that if these marbles stayed in Athens, they would eventually be destroyed. He put them on a ship, and the ship sank. And he sold them off to pay for the expenses, as he was recently bankrupt, and he underwent a divorce where he didn't get as much money as he thought he would. But that is another story. We know how they got here. We know how they got to the British Museum, but what do they actually mean to us? What do they actually mean to our culture, the British culture? Well, mostly, I think, they serve as a declaration to the obsession that we have with classical antiquities. The best period, true art and sculpture, the birth of democracy is what many say. Fine, that's great, but why do we have them? Why are they on British soil? Can we justify having these ancient marbles because we like antiquities, because we like referencing ancient myths, because we like looking at ancient gods and goddesses and all their beauty and might? Is this truly a good reason on why we can justify having these marbles? Can we justify having these marbles because we think we would take the best care of them? Maybe. Maybe we do take the best care of them out of all the countries out there. But in the 1930s, the British Museum, when attempting to restore these marbles, made irreversible damage to them and finally admitted to this in the 90s, as well as this Lord Elgin, when transporting and breaking these marbles off from the Acropolis, made irreversible damages to these marbles. But also, Greece has asked for these marbles back. Since 1983, there have been ongoing discussions between Greece and Britain on whether or not this is an issue, this repatriation is an issue that needs to be solved in the first place. As well as this, not all the marbles are displayed in bright, beautiful rooms where many can walk through and admire them. Some are in dark, dingy spaces. For example, the Caryatid, which is a statue. It basically holds the purpose of a column. This Caryatid that's on the left is in the British Museum. It's the single Caryatid that's in the British Museum, which was taken from the Acropolis. I think it could have been lit up more, at least, like in the Acropolis Museum, the bottom right photograph, where the 5 original ones stand, in assertive position, looking out, represented in the context at which they are from, looking out over their city. These marbles in the Acropolis Museum are shown in all their glory, in a city where they are from, in a formation that they were originally in, taken care of and admired. I have talked about the Elgin marbles, their story and significance, and the issue of repatriation, but I am not asking you to make a stand on where you stand concerning repatriation. This isn't why I'm speaking to you all today. But rather, I want to inform you. I want to tell you a story, its importance and its relevance. I encourage you all, when you maybe go to a museum and look at some artifacts, read the little museum labels or the little bits of information dotted throughout the room. Give yourself that little bit of extra knowledge and understanding on the stories of these marbles. Where they were, where they are now, how they got here, and whose hands did they pass through? Thank you.